had a secure card that I had got for like $2,000, and I just kept it on my credit report.
How much funding do you believe you've been able to establish for yourself?
Over $1 million. Just because I've been doing it so long.
As an entrepreneur, do you still believe in saving your money?
No.
What's going on, family? Welcome to a new episode of the Digital Empire Podcast, where we talk about everything digital investments and entrepreneurship. And today, like no other, we have an amazing guest. This man right here has been killing the game in every way, shape, or possible. And I'm one of those people, I don't even like to go right into it. I want them to really introduce themselves because, as y'all know, when it comes to entrepreneurship isn't what everybody thinks it is. Like, social media hypes it up, but we really want to get nitty gritty and understand what each person's experience is in the entrepreneurship space. So I want to go ahead and introduce my man, Alvin. How you feeling, brother? You good?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, bro. I'm doing great. Can you explain to the audience, like, what you do, how you do, like, how do you serve them?
Absolutely. Starting off, my name is Alvin George, of course. I'm in the business funding space. I help entrepreneurs get capital for their business. It doesn't matter if you're a new business owner or an existing business owner, but my goal is to help them get working capital so they can either start or expand their business to the next level.
Look, I'm talking to you all every single episode about how to be able to create a six-figure digital empire, and some of y'all haven't taken action yet. Y'all just, for some reason, life haven't slapped you in the face yet where it's like, yo, I'm tired of being at the place that I'm in right now. I'm tired of working my 9 to 5. I want to create a business. I want to become an entrepreneur. I'm tired of working for someone else when they don't even care about me. Look, I have something for you. I was working a 9 to 5, literally not even a year ago. It's going to be a year this year that I have been able to leave my 9 to 5 to be able to come to you guys and show you how I was able to leave working at Papado, 101 Steak, Ruth Chris, all hospitality places, y'all, to now being able to break 100K months. Literally, this is what happened. Let me tell you. I was able to break 100K months in 6 months, to be more exact. And I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to do it and how exactly I was able to do it from working a job, creating multiple 4 to 5 figures while working my 9 to 5, to then leaving my 9 to 5, to then scaling my business. Y'all, I'm going to show you how to fund your business without using your own money. There's so many things in this book that I could be charging tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm going to share with you how exactly I did it and with pennies of the dollar. It costs $10, y'all. Worst case scenarios, you learn something more and profit off of it. Okay, so look, click the link, thedigitalempire.ebook.com. Get the ebook, y'all.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, in our space, like we mentioned before, off camera, we're big on like helping people build family businesses, right?
Absolutely.
And leaving a legacy. And part of that is credit funding, business funding, and all of those great things, right? So I'm pretty familiar with it, but the audience may not be familiar with it. Can you explain to them like the concept of getting people business funding for their capital, why it's important for them?
Man, the importance of actually getting business funding for your business is because you don't actually want to use your own capital for everything. The wealthy people actually use other people's money for their endeavors. If they're looking to buy real estate, they're using other people's money. If they're looking to start different businesses and stuff, they're raising capital, either whether they're going to the banks or private money, they're getting other people's money to fund their endeavors.
Facts.
And that's the quickest way to actually obtain and reach your goals that you set for yourself and for your family. Because most people have the mindset of like, man, let me get this job and work, and they spin their wheels for the next 20, 30, 40 years, and the job just does not do it for you. So there's the quickest way to wealth is by leveraging OPM, which is other people's money.
Got you. So when it comes to OPM, right, it's such a broad concept. A lot of people talk about, you know, it could be personal funding, business funding, loans, lines of credit, venture capital. There's so many different ways to get business funding. Absolutely. So which one do you particularly focus on?
Particularly, I focus on just business funding coming from the banks.
Okay.
Coming from the major banks. And the reason for that is because of the entry into the game. Many people that I work with, a lot of my clients, are not ready for private money, or they don't even know an investor that has significant capital that can invest their endeavors. But if you're structured a certain way and you're set up a certain way, then the banks are a little bit quicker to give you money versus someone like a private investor.
Got you. Understood. So usually when people are in the space of business funding or getting people business funding, they've done it for themselves, right?
Absolutely.
So I want to really go back to like OG Alvin, right? You know what I'm saying? Alvin that didn't get the business funding yet. Like, what were you doing before this whole thing came about?
Before I was doing business funding, man, I was actually working in sales, man. I used to work for Grant Cardone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was working for Grant Cardone, and I was selling his on-demand. He had a program at this time. So I was in the state of Florida, going from car dealership to car dealership, trying to sell his program just to car dealerships and the goal was to help their salespeople produce more to increase their revenue.
Right.
So that's what I was doing before the business funding game that I got in.
And how was working with Grant Cardone? Because Grant Cardone has this stigma, right, of arrogance, knowing that
Absolutely.
he's not really that case in real life. But like, how do you feel in regards to that?
Absolutely. Well, I got connected through the entire Grant Cardone family and the workforce by a guy that used to work for him at the time by the name of Carlos. And Carlos actually came and he met me when I was working at a car dealership. He was like, "Hey man, I can help you become entrepreneurial. I can teach you a few things, but I want you to join us with this and this." So I had to go through a full list of so many things to get on with these people. So I got on as an independent contractor with Carlos through Grant Cardone's brand, and our goal was to push and sell all these products, and it was great. And the last and I got to see him in person do seminars and stuff like that. So that's when I really started seeing entrepreneurship like at another level.
Right. Yep. What year was this, by the way?
2014. This was
14. Oh, this was real OG.
Yeah.
This is OG Grant Cardone.
Yeah, this is OG Grant Cardone. This is before he is now the billionaire real estate guy.
For sure. So how do you feel about Grant Cardone at the level that he's at right now?
Man, he worked hard for it. He deserved it. Like, I watched.
Yeah, because he was known for sales.
Absolutely.
Or he was known for the car dealership first.
Absolutely.
Then he was known for sales.
Sales, yep.
Then he dived into the real estate game.
Then he got into real estate.
Well, he'd been in real estate, but he's now, pushing real estate, right? And now he has $1 billion portfolio from it. Of course. Right? Classified as a net worth of a billionaire.
Yep.
Right? And so you worked for him for a certain amount of time, coming from the same industry he was in.
Yep.
And now you're an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So now you're teaching business funding to everybody else. Like, what made you get into business funding?
Honestly, what made me get into it was because working for Grant was fine. Man, but I just knew at that time, even though I was an independent contractor, I still had a boss. Carlos at the time was my boss. I just knew I wasn't a great employee. Like, I just always knew that I wasn't a great employee. So what got me into the business funding space, I attempted my first business while I was living in Florida. And it's not that I really didn't have all the information. I actually started trying to wholesale real estate. And you really didn't need any money to really wholesale real estate, but I didn't have money at all, period, to do anything. So I'm like, man, how can I get me some money to just survive, to even get my business registered and all this? So I made so many mistakes and so many errors, and it got me to the point where, all right, I started my first business and it failed miserably. I didn't really have the necessary capital to even market myself. So I'm like, all right, there's something wrong. And I went to the bank and I had these credit cards at this time on my personal credit side. And the guy at the bank told me, he was like, "Hey man, why you don't just get a business credit card?" And that was the starting point right then and there. The banker sat me down. He said, "Why not get a business credit card?" And I got my first business credit card at the end of 2014.
And how much was your first business credit card?
My first business credit card was $15,000.
$15,000.
Yeah.
You made a person's salary almost.
Yeah, $15,000 was my first card I ever had.
That's crazy. And so, like, did you have to go through the repairing stage, or did you just have like good credit based on just like?
No, being that I knew about credit, man, I started building my credit when I was like 18, 19 years old. I was able to get my first car. It didn't last me long at all, but I was able to get my first car, La Dodge Neon Stratus or whatever it was called at the time. I got that first car on credit. So And I kept the car for 2 years, and it was out after that because it was just a piece of crap. And
Right.
that's when I started building credit. And I always paid my bills and everything on time. So my personal credit was good. I had a secured card that I had got for like $2,000, and I just kept it on my credit report. And over those 2-3 years, it just built up my credit history. So I leveraged that. And coming from the environment that I came from, yes, I had to go through credit repair a little bit. I had a few electrical bills that was on my credit report that, I didn't personally put there, but it was there. Just bills that I never even knew existed in my name, that were in my name, that went unpaid. So I had to actually get those disputed off of my credit report.
So was it like identity theft, or was it more like
it wasn't
somebody else was using it?
Yeah, somebody. We did what we had to do to survive.
Yeah. Relatives probably around
absolutely.
those. Yeah.
We did what we had to do to survive, and just a family thing. Hey,
Yeah.
man, let me use Alvin's name to get the lights on or something.
Yeah,
like that.
for sure.
Absolutely.
I can understand that. That happens. And so moving forward, now we're in the business funding space.
Yep.
Like, how much funding do you believe you've been able to establish for yourself?
Oh, I'm over $1 million easy.
No, over $1 million of business funding.
Yeah, over $1 million easy. Just because I've been doing it so long. I didn't acquire all this in just 2 months, but just because I've been doing this so long, personal credit report was super strong, and I just leveraged that to obtain the funds for my business.
So what is an ideal credit profile for people that are nowhere to be able to get business funding?
To bare minimum, this is what you want to look for a bare minimum. You want to have a 680 at a bare minimum.
Right.
But understand, you don't want to settle for this.
Yeah, for
this
sure.
Is just a bare minimum. 680 bare minimum. You want to have perfect payment history. Like if you're late and your payment history is at 70%, 60%, that's not good. You need 100% payment history. Credit utilization, your overall credit utilization, because the underwriters look at your total credit utilization, not just a specific credit card. You want it as low as possible. I say under 15%.
Okay.
15% under, you can start qualifying for more additional funding. You want to have no derogatories, no bankruptcy, no charge-offs or any thing like that on your credit. If you have something like that, you want to get it removed, get it disputed off of your credit report. You also want mixed credit. That's very important. You want revolving credit on your credit report, and you want installment credit on your credit report.
For sure.
You need both, not just one. You need both.
Right.
And last but not least, you actually want to show underwriters, depending on the type of funding that you're going for, you want to show them that you have serviced debt over a period of time.
Right.
Like meaning
length of history. Yeah.
That you have actually borrowed money, paid it back. So you want length of history to be, I recommend at least 5 years. You want a good 5 year length of history. Yeah.
So is there any credit cards that a person has to have minimum at the 680, or does it matter?
No, it doesn't really matter. I strongly recommend at least 2, because a person can have 5 credit cards with $500 limits, and now you're at what, $2,500?
Right.
When someone can have 2 credit cards at $15,000 limits apiece.
Right.
So now which one is better? The person that has the 2 cards with the higher limits is going to be eligible for more funding, because your underwriters are looking at not how many credit cards you actually have, but how much debt you have actually managed, how much debt you have actually serviced.
Right.
If you had one loan for $30,000 and you paid it back versus 5 loans for $200, then you qualify for more money because you can service more debt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying you're helping people get business funding. So does that also involve credit repair, or are you just focusing on the business funding side?
I just focus alone on the business funding side. I really don't repair people's credit. I used to, but I kind of got up out that game just because business funding, it takes all
the time.
It takes all my time.
It's either one of them take all your time. It's either repairing or the funding.
Or the funding, yeah.
It's one of the two, man. It's crazy how it works.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So when it comes to, establishing business funding, is there like certain cards that you would recommend, like minimum, like starting off, Like, is there a certain amount that you can go for? Like, what are some good business credit cards for people to establish for new startups?
Yeah, for new startups, if you're a brand new startup and assuming your personal credit is good.
Correct.
Right? Assuming your personal credit is good and you're ready to get business credit cards, man, I love Chase, man. I love Chase.
I heard about that.
Chase Inc., they give you the bag. They give you the bag, man. Like,
that man speechless, boy. That man said, yeah.
They give you the bag. Chase Inc., and the beautiful thing about that, they give you 0% for like a certain period of months. So Chase Inc. is really good, man. My personal favorite is American Express, bro. I love American Express.
Yeah, everyone's here. There's a lot of things going around with funding with American Express now.
Absolutely, man.
Crazy.
Absolutely. I love American Express. And you can start with, I started with the Gold Card, American Express Gold Card. It's great for marketing. So if you have a business and you want to market, the points it adds up very, very, very quickly on the American Express Gold Card.
So what does it take to get in American Express?
Just that relationship, man. Just having that decent credit score. I recommend like a 680, 700. You can get approved. I wouldn't go for like their high tier platinum card at the very beginning, but just get in and try to get you a blue cash card, because that's all it takes. Just get the relationship. And I preach this to everyone. Funding and banking alone is about relationships. You know, the better your relationship is with that bank, the more capital they're going to be willing to give you.
And how long of a relationship do you expect? Does it depend per bank, or do you have like a minimum?
No, like me personally, what I have done, like I said, I've been with American Express for 8 years now.
Wow.
But even if you're new and you're just starting your relationship with them, it's fine. You can be under a year. You can be under 1 year, but you just want to keep that relationship good. You don't want to burn American Express, or you don't want to burn any banking institution that you're banking with, because that's your friend. That's who's going to help grow your business.
1000%.
Yeah, that's going to help grow your business.
And you mean by building a relationship by just using it and paying it off on time or early?
And paying it off on time or early. But if they give you money, just make sure you give them their money back.
Facts. Just like a friend, you know, they
like
loan you money, you know, you don't want to burn that relationship.
Absolutely. That's the key.
Look, are you looking for a like-minded community of people who are trying to build a digital investment and digital entrepreneurship business? Well, look, we got something for you. You are listening to this podcast because you want to build a digital investment or become an entrepreneur. Well, look, we got a big community down below in the description. It's called the Digital Empire Patreon. This is something that only people who have joined and listened to this podcast. So this is an exclusive people. You have to listen to this podcast just to be able to get to this Patreon. Okay, so go ahead, subscribe. It literally costs you less than a coffee. Get in, go ahead and just join and get the free content that is a part of that. And I'm telling you, y'all, this content that I'm breaking down, I'm not putting out in public. So you must join in order to get the exclusive stuff that I can't even say in public. So look, y'all, just tap in, just click the link.
All right, so you're saying Chase Inc., American Express. Is there any other new cards that you would recommend?
Absolutely, man. Believe it or not, I like FNBO. First
FNB, yeah.
Of Omaha.
Yo, I used to have an FNB. That's crazy. That's a throwback.
Yep.
FNBO. Wow, that's throwback.
I like FNBO. Also, man, I'm big on like the major banks as well. I like Bank of America. I have them. You know, you can get 2 cards with them, 2-3 cards with them on one inquiry. So, yeah, I like Bank of America. Also, Wells Fargo. You know, I like Wells Fargo too. And like I said, it's about the relationship. But my top 3 would be American Express first. That's my favorite card. Just the relationship. Second favorite would be Chase for sure. And third would be FNBO.
Okay, so let's say new startup business has the funding, right? Like, what are some tips that you would give them? Because the whole goal is to get them into a business.
Absolutely.
Right? So, like, what are some things that you would say to help establish business through funding?
Yeah. So if you're set up and you want to let's say you obtain $50,000 in funding or something. Before I tell every business owner, every investor to know this, you want an entry plan and an exit plan. You need that. Like every smart investor has that.
Right.
Like you want to know what you're going to put this money into before you get the money and how you're going to exit this asset if you plan on selling it, if you plan on buying and flipping it, holding. Me personally, I like to practice real estate a little bit, right? I do a lot of short-term real estate. I knew once I get my funding, I was going to go into real estate. So once I get the money from the banks, let's park this into some real estate. I'm going to buy the property, or I'm going to acquire properties through other people's property too. So I teach that in like my classes and stuff, where you can get into real estate if you don't have all the capital to buy. Leverage other people's property. Take your funding, get into other people's property, stabilize it, then start renting that property out. Of course, with the owner's permission. Generate some money. That way you can pay back your funding, your relationships. You can keep your relationships good, and you can make some capital. Now you're a business owner, at the same time. So real estate is a great space. Also, man, I love, this world is digital now. I love everything digital. So Amazon FBA is another huge one. So you acquire funding, business credit cards, and you getting business lines of credit. You can get into Amazon FBA, where you got these products, they're getting fulfilled and shipped by Amazon. That's another great way to make money, because so many people are shopping on Amazon
every day. They're probably shopping as we speak.
They're shopping right now. So why aren't you involved? You should be involved. Why are you not involved into it? Because it's, if not the largest platform for buyers and sellers. The largest for consumers, for sure. Absolutely.
1,000%. So let's pivot real quick. I want to talk about the entrepreneurship side, right? So we talked about how to get funding, how startups can get funding, how, like, what are some good businesses to invest in. But let's talk about the entrepreneurship, because we know entrepreneurship isn't easy.
Of course not.
Okay. So, like, what would you say the best part of entrepreneurship is, and then what would you say the worst part of entrepreneurship is?
The best part of entrepreneurship is, man, honestly, to me, the best part about being an entrepreneur is freedom, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's freedom.
I agree.
It would be the freedom. Once you have made enough money and you got employees working for you and stuff, and you got some time to yourself, you can travel the world, man. You can enjoy the world. You can get involved in different experiences and stuff like that, right? So I would say the best is the freedom. The worst part about entrepreneurship is the pitfalls, the downfalls, the lonely nights, and trying to figure this out, the loss of money, the loss of friends along the way. I think that's the worst part about all this is you have to have your mindset ready for this.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the worst part.
So, like, you mentioned that you have employees, right? In this entrepreneurship game. Like, how many employees do you have?
Total between all of my companies, 23.
How many companies do you have?
Me and my mom has a company, 4.
4 companies. Okay. And you already have $1 million or over $1 million in business funding.
Of course.
Right? So how were you able to leverage those to create cash flow? Like, are those 6-figure businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, all my businesses make at least 6 figures.
At least. Okay.
All of them. Every last one. Yeah.
So you are classified net worth of a millionaire based on credit.
Absolutely. Based on credit alone.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you are classified as a 6-figure earner, cash flow.
Cash flow. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So outside of the wealth that you have on both aspects, where do you park your money?
Park my money, believe it or not, I park my money in insurance and I park my money in real estate.
Okay, cool.
Insurance first, though.
Insurance first, for sure, because we do the same thing.
Yeah.
Insurance is important.
Yeah.
So could you educate them on why insurance is that, why you pick insurance? You could have picked a Roth IRA, you could have picked a 401k, you could have picked a freaking piggy bank at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, but why an insurance policy?
Simply because, man, just the guys I'm around, some wealth educators that I'm around, they always say, be your own bank, have your own bank. Right? And one thing that's for certain, we all gonna die one day, man.
Yeah, that's facts.
We all gonna pass away. So why not park my money into something that I know one day I'm gonna leave here? So I need to be able to leave my money to, my family or something like that. So the benefits of parking money in insurance is just astronomically
1,000%. You have it in a trust too?
Absolutely.
This is my man right here. He's doing the right things, man. Look, The reason why I ask is because a lot of people aren't aware. They hear of trust. They think of trust. They know they need one, but they don't know where to go. They don't know how important it is, nor do they even have one.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Especially of the word Rockefeller, runs around here all the time, or Rothschilds or Vanderbilts or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But they don't really understand the full aspect of like why the family bank method is so important.
So important.
Right. So when you talk about parking your money in real estate, parking your money in insurances, like it's there as an entrepreneur, do you still believe in saving your money?
No.
Tell us why you don't. Tell the audience why.
Because savers don't get wealthy.
So would you classify your life insurance policy, Slick, as like a storage savings account?
Savings account. Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. Okay, because I think of it as the same way.
Yeah.
Right. And so whenever, or you just fund, you getting funded all types of routes, bro. I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, this man really, he in this pocket, this funding. You can borrow for real estate. You can borrow from insurance. You can borrow from funding.
And speaking on that, can I say something? For instance, the insurance policy that I just recently got with my guy, I actually funded this insurance policy. I put some money into it. I waited about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, let the policy get established and set up. Maybe about 2 weeks ago, I went in and borrowed some money from the insurance policy, and I kept all the benefits of the insurance policy. And now I'm taking that money to go invest in something that's going to produce more cash flow for me.
And it's uninterrupted too.
And it's uninterrupted, correct.
1,000%. So even, and for the people who aren't aware, uninterrupted means that even if I were to borrow against it, it still compounds.
Compounds. Yep.
That's the best part. I'm not even gonna hold you. That is the best part about a life insurance policy, bro.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I don't care what nobody says, man. So knowing that you have a life insurance policy, I'm assuming that you know the difference between the IUL and the whole life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and now I'm not an insurance expert, so
of course
I hire people that are like,
same here.
They're
same
really
here.
Good, yeah.
So from my recollection, from how you're speaking, it sounds like you have a whole life policy.
Absolutely.
Right. So why did you pick a whole over an IUL?
It was based on my current position and where I'm at in life and what I have going on. And it's tailored to my life as of now. You know, maybe if things change in the near future, but focusing on myself, and I don't have any kids, and just focusing on just my immediate family, I feel like this was the best route for me at this current point. You know, things may change in the future, but just talking to my insurance guy, he was like, hey, man, I think we need to do this for right now. And that's the reason why I picked
That's good. And the thing is that you said that it was catered towards you. And people often don't understand that policies are customizable.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like you're your own individual.
Absolutely.
And so like you would want things different from another individual. Because another person might feel IUL is better.
Absolutely. Because their life may be different. So that's why I say I think it's more about what fits you, being that you can customize it. And that's basically what I was saying. Like thinking of my life, I think it works for me right now.
So going into the real estate side real quick, right? You mentioned that, or I mentioned, and then you second that you could borrow against your real estate.
Absolutely.
Right. And I believe the method is, I think it's the HELOC method.
Yeah, HELOC. Yep.
Right. So like, have you ever used that method before to invest in something else, or you just haven't had the opportunity?
No, I just haven't had the opportunity just yet. Yeah, I haven't pulled any money from no equity out of the property yet. None.
Got you. But it's the fact that you have the option to do
Absolutely.
So even if you're doing short term, you're still able to use it.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I'm guessing you own the property.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So do you also do own and rent?
I own and rent both.
Okay.
Yeah, I utilize. If the strategy's there, I'm going to utilize it.
He said, "I'm going to use everything that exists."
Strategy. Yeah, I'm going
wholesale, short term, long term, buy it all, lease it all that.
That's it. Yeah. That's the plan.
Okay, so you talked about funding. Let's even like broaden it a little bit. Would you establish yourself as more of like a funding expert overall on, are you just on the business funding, or would you say that, okay, I'm also a specialist in borrowing against life insurance, funding over in real estate? Would you say all of that, or is it just the credit side?
Well, here's the thing. I can fund in pretty much any business due to the fact that I have relationships with particular lenders that fund in that specific arena. Like I have a guy that was seeking funding for a restaurant, you know, just so happened like last week. I know the actual lender that funds restaurants, you know.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, you know, versus if somebody's doing real estate, they want to fix and flip a property, then my restaurant lender may not want that.
Wouldn't make sense.
I have another lender that may want to do it. So it's kind of like I can broker the funding too. Yeah. Just
That's
because
facts.
I know so many people that's in the industry that's providing the funds for that particular industry, depending on the business owner's situation.
Got you. You answered my question. Okay. And how old are you, by the way?
31.
31, and this guy is out here killing the game.
31.
Crazy. And you started when you were 18.
Yeah, I started when I was 18. Yeah, I've always been hungry, man, for success. My dad died when I was young. My mom just didn't know it. Like, the information wasn't shared to her, So I just took it upon myself, man, to like learn everything that I can learn just about entrepreneurship. Once I learned, I taught it to my family.
Yeah, so everybody has great credit.
Everybody in my family got credit and run their own business. Everybody. Everybody. Like my sister, my mom, like everybody.
So you do know how to repair people's credit if you need to.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Got you. And so if you were to repair somebody's credit, are you leveraging certain laws in place? And if so, which laws are you using?
I would use certain like laws in the FCRA. I do. Am I an expert with the laws? Of course not. I know like a lot of the terminology. I'm just not like an attorney when it comes to credit. I just know that, hey man, if I write this letter this way and I include this, it can potentially get deleted from the credit report. Now here's the thing, when it comes to credit repair, there's no magic letter. There's no magic law or anything like that. You can write the most perfect letter and send it off to the credit bureaus. Does that mean it's going to get deleted? Of course not. Then you may have to take it where you want to file CFPB, you want to do all that. So there's never a guaranteed or a magic letter that's going to have something deleted. Because I have written letters that was like, all right, this is detailed. I know this is going to get deleted. Doesn't get deleted. And I read letters that's like, man, this is not so much detail.
But you got to delete it.
And it got done. Yeah.
So is there an overall structure of how you write your letters? Not the magic letter, just a letter in general. Is there like a way or a structure of like certain things you would like put in the letter?
No, not really. My initial first letter is very, very basic and simple. When I was actually doing credit repair, it's very simple. It's like, hey, this account is not mine. It's true.
And you just state the account number, and all that.
State the account number and all this. This account is not mine. Because by law, they have to do an investigation and prove that this account is mine.
So when they validate it, right? I was just about to ask that. So if let's say they come back and say, "Oh, this is your account,"
all right, prove it. Now you have to prove it to me that this is my account.
So how would you write that in the letter of saying like, prove it?
So basically, like in the letter, I would literally, all right, I know you came, like, let's say I disputed ABC Company, right? And it's like, yeah, ABC Company is yours. I would follow up in that second letter, basically saying, all right, Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax, I know you came back and did an investigation and stated that this account is mine. What I'm going to need you to do is send me a contract, an agreement, your evidence to prove that this account is mine. If you cannot provide me evidence in the next 30 days, please have this removed from my credit report.
So you're not even speaking in legalese or whatever, or speaking in difficult. You're speaking in your language, in words, regular human words. Because a lot of people think that when writing a letter, you have to have 4 or 5 paragraphs, then have your accounts, then have the laws at the bottom, then have the extra stuff all the way in there.
Absolutely not, man. Because you have to, let's be really logical thinkers here. If there's 1 million people sending a dispute letter to one credit bureau, you think there's people reading those letters? No. Of course not. There's computers that these letters are being generated in. So these computers are analyzing it, and it's going from there. It's humanly impossible for everyone in the world. You know how many people is disputing with the credit bureaus for them to read all those letters every single day. So you don't have to have all that fancy, all that jargon and stuff. Like, I never use that. So I can't vouch for something that I have never personally done. So I can't say like, hey, you have to do this, plain letters to actually get stuff deleted from my credit report.
Got you. So You said the first one is, you're saying this needs to be deleted.
Yes, just this is not my
This
account.
is not my account. The second one is you need to prove it.
Second one, you need to prove it.
What if they still come back to you? What's the third one?
If they come back to me on the third one and they approve it, now that's when, hey, I'm looking for that law. All right, now let's look for something that's they're missing that's not compliant, because the credit bureaus and the reporting of the account has to be compliant. So if I see that, all right, you said it's mine, all that's fine, but I owe 500, but you're reporting it that I owe 501, then you have to have it removed at that point, because now you're not compliant on,
and it's
what
inaccurate
actually,
and incomplete.
correct.
Because it's probably different on each agent, each
it's
reporting
on
agency.
on each bureau is different. So now you have to have it deleted.
Got you.
Yep.
So then what if they still say it's still yours? You're just going to follow up again.
Yeah, I'm keep following up. I'm never going to stop following up until it gets deleted.
Got you.
And then, you can go, if I have never personally gotten this far, but you can personally go to filing a complaint with the CFPB and
Got you. With the head honcho.
Yeah, I just never personally gotten that far.
Yeah, it's gotten deleted before that.
Yeah, correct. It got deleted before that. And I never used any fancy terminology. So I can only speak on what I have done. Yeah,
That's good. That's good. Well, look, my man, this is a great conversation. I feel like this is something that people need to know.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people don't really, and you're really good at making things very digestible and easy for other people to understand.
Absolutely.
So where can people follow you? If they really wanted to get to know you, get business funding, get to know you as a person, where can they follow you?
You can follow me at Alvin George Jr. on Instagram.
Okay, awesome. So can you give a person that's working a 9-to-5, person wanted to get business funding, what tip do you have for them? And their credit is trash.
Yeah. If you're a 9-to-5 employee and your credit is trash, but you want to get into business and get business funding, the first thing I'm going to tell you is be patient, but fix your personal credit. Fix your personal credit. Take that serious. And I tell everyone this: credit is not a short-term game. It's forever.
Right.
It's not like a year. It's not 2 years. It's forever. Once you start building it and fixing it, you want to continue to build forever. Because once you think you reach the 100,000 mark in credit, there's the $1 million mark that you can go to. Once you reach the $1 million mark, there's the $10 million mark you can go to. Once you get to the $10 million mark, I'm sure there's more, because it's a never-ending game. Like
100%.
the game's never ending. So take personal credit serious, super, super serious. Take that serious. Once that's done, once you have that fixed to where it needs to be, then just leverage all of that to get business funding.
It's nice.
Look, is generational wealth and legacy building something that you've been trying to do? Is legacy building something that seems hard? Is something that, is far-fetched? Well, look, I got something better for you that'll literally change the game and how you view things. We are coming out, and it's already there. Literally, click the link below. We have something called a free family business workshop. This is a free training that's literally going to show you from A to Z on how to build legacy, what legacy means to us and what legacy should mean to you all. And guess what the method is based off of? The Rockefeller method. Have you wanted to make $600 billion just like the Rockefellers? Is this something that you've been struggling to do? Well, look, we got the best thing on the planet. The family business workshop is the way to go. So I'm telling you, click the link below, join that family business workshop, learn the Rockefeller method the right way, because we're literally doing the exact same thing that they're doing. The whole life policy, the trust, the ministry trust, the family trust, the private trust, showing you how to build everything from the ground up. This is what we're going to be doing. So look, appreciate you. Tap below and I'll see you there.
And I forgot to ask you this. How long did it take you to get to $1 million in business funding?
I started building personal credit, like I mentioned. I started building personal credit at the age of 18. First car, secured credit card, and stuff like that. I started building personal credit. I didn't start applying for actual business funding until I was about the age of 22, 23. I got my first business credit card. Then to get to an actual million, it took me, I had a big gap because I had stopped applying. So at about the age of 28, that's when I, started collecting so much of it.
That's good.
Because my personal credit was strong at about the age of 28. And it really was quick. It really was super quick because my personal credit was so strong. It was like I did pledge loans with Navy Federal and stuff like that. So my ability to borrow was significantly high.
Right.
So I went to multiple banks at one time, and next thing you know, 50 here, 75 here, 100 here. Like, so it was quick and easy. And I think if I would have done it all at one time collectively, it probably took me about a year and a half, maybe.
Oh, that's dope. Well, look, my man, appreciate you for coming out.
Of course.
Thank you so much, man. Giving some game to the people. You feel what I'm saying? I want you all to tap in with Alvin George Jr., man. Tap in with my man. Think of this as a personal referral. This man has $1 million in funding, y'all. Who you gonna get on the podcast that brings somebody $1 million in business funding? Come on now. And not only that, he's classified as a millionaire on paper.
On paper.
Okay? So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow your boy. Follow me. Leave a review, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.
We out.